Hello everyone, and welcome to the first version, or first edition, of Upgrade in Progress version 2.0. Unless you're watching this on the playlist long after videos came out, in which case it's going to be quite far into the playlist, so it's going to be another edition of Upgrade in Progress version 2.0. I've lost my train of thought now, this isn't good. Anyway, welcome back, or welcome to another custom figure showcase, because that's what this video basically is. And as he comes around, you can see that today we are looking at a Cyberman custom, of course, and this is the CyberReaper from the Doctor Who game Edge of Reality. So this is certainly an interesting Cyberman, it's certainly an interesting custom. So for a bit of background, those who haven't played it, the CyberReaper is kind of, it's said to be a Cyberman which has basically been going, like, it's one of the longest living Cyberman that has been traversing through time and repaired itself from various other Cybermen that it has come across the battlefield, which is why it is quite a mix of parts. So it has the head of a tomb Cyberman, albeit slightly changed. It has a sort of expanded chest unit from the classic 80s Cybermen. The overall body and left leg are from a Cybus era Cyberman. Its waist is sort of from a warrior Cyberman from the Chibnall era. It's sort of slightly nondescript. Its right leg is and I should say right upper forearm, right shoulder, are from a sort of 10th Planet era Cyberman, although it also has the tubing from a Tomb Cyberman on the leg. This is a lot to remember. And then the right arm and the right forearm and the whole left arm are from a sort of Nightmare in Silver 2013 Cyberman. So yeah, there's a lot to this Cyberman, and also the torso has the upper part of the Cyberman, but the lower part seems to be from a Nightmare in Silver Cyberman as well. And then the boot on the right foot is sort of a slightly nondescript boot. I'm not really sure exactly which one that's meant to be from. It is probably meant to be from a specific one. It kind of looks like a Cybus one, but it's got a couple of little extra bits. But again, this Cyberman's supposed to have repaired itself from many different things, so who knows. Anyway, so yeah, overall it was a very difficult custom to make because there was a lot of sculpting involved. So what I've used for this, overall the body is a Cybus Cyberman, and then I have 3D printed the whole left arm from, I think it was James Lee's Nightmare in Silver Cybermen, and then also the right forearm with the gun has been 3D printed. The right shoulder, the left leg and right leg are obviously all Cybus ones, but the right leg I've sculpted on the boot. I've obviously trimmed off all of the excess bits on that. I've sculpted on the boot. I've sculpted on some sort of fabric folds to make it look like it's fabric, and then I've also added on the tubing from a Tomb Cyberman. On the right shoulder, I've also added on the ring sculpted on a ring from a 10th Planet Cyberman. The body, the main torso and the hips, again, are Cybus, but I've obviously added on a lot of sculpting around the hip area. I've added on the banding. On the torso section, I have completely covered over the sort of waist section, as it were, and sculpted that to make it look sort of panelled. And then obviously over the top of the torso, I have sculpted on a shoulder sort of pad torso section from an 80s Cyberman. I did consider getting an official one, but it doesn't fit because it is obviously oversized and it's changed sizes in the game, so it was easier just to sculpt it, and it fitted on better. And then obviously the head as well. The head is a Tomb Cyberman, which I have then obviously changed a little bit of sculpting. I've changed the shape of the head slightly, the ridge along the head. I've also changed the band around the top, and as you can see, he's got a couple of ports on the back as well, which I've changed. I've changed the handles over the handles, or whatever you want to call them, are bits of wire that I've then sculpted in. I've obviously the ports and now go into the top of the head in a different spot, and in the sort of ears, as it were, I've sculpted that around to make it straight panels. And then obviously the actual head unit, as it were, I've just repainted and changed it. And then I've given the overall Cyberman a bit more of a darker silver wash, because in the game it's kind of difficult to tell, because in the game you do see the Cyberman when it is in very sort of dark areas, and there's not really a good full lit shot of it. All the times you see it, it's sort of in sort of half shadow or in low light, so it could be that it's bright silver, but given the fact that it's meant to be repairing itself and doing things like that, it is sort of, you know, makes sense that it's a bit older and more worn. So I went for gave it an overall silver paint. Obviously, apart from the fabric sections of the right shoulder and the leg, which I've obviously kept sort of matte to make it look more sort of fabric-like. So I've given it an overall wash of overall paint of silver, and then I just gave it a wash of an ever so slightly darker, metallic gunmetal silver, just to make it look that little bit more worn and weathered. And then obviously all the wires as well I've added on, which again, the wires were a bit of a difficult thing to put on, because again, we never get a really clear full shot of it, and the wires on the concept art don't match up to the wires placement as they are seen in the game. So there is again a little bit of a discrepancy. I have had to take a little bit of artistic license here and there with this, because it is a difficult one to translate into a custom, given how much of it is different and how much of it needs to be changed and renewed. The only bit that I haven't done, which I actually only noticed I hadn't done a couple of days ago, which I'm probably going to go back and do at some point, is on the left arm. In the concept art at least, he has sort of cracks and things in the arm where it's all sort of slightly shattered in the shoulder pad, so I might go back and add them on with a little bit of paint just to make it stand out a bit more. But generally, otherwise, it is a figure which I am really, really proud of. You know, I always say that I'm very pleased with how this has come out, but again, this is another one of those ones that I really am, because it was such a unique looking Cyberman, and it's such a challenging custom to do, that to actually finally get it done and get it looking as close, because it's not perfect, as close as I can, I really am proud of this one, because it is one of those ones that, you know, sculpting isn't the easiest thing to do, and as I said, by no means is this perfect. You know, just as it's going around, I can see my fingerprint marks in the sculpt and things like that, but you know, it is one of those ones that I look at it and think, like, 5-10 years ago I would never have been able to do this, and I'm really pleased to sort of look at this and think, yeah, I've done this, and I can see the own progress of my work, and it's quite it's a challenge, but it's one that presents good results and has in a way sentimental value. You know, this is one of those customs I'm always going to look back at and think, yeah, I made that and I'm really proud of it. But that brings to a close another custom figure showcase upgrade in progress version 2.0. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me a lot, and be sure to description below for a link to my Patreon. I'm doing my very first figure animation and you can get involved. There's exclusive content and rewards for those who do so, and funding my Patreon in any way gets your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.